Well, the boys around here don't listen to the Beatles run. Old Bo Cephas threw a jukebox needle at the honky-tonk where they boot stomp all night. What? Yeah, and what they call work a digging in the dirt. Gotta get it in the ground before the rain come down to get paid to get the girl in your four-wheel drive. Yeah, the boys around here drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco, spit. Oh, heck. Well, the boys around here, they're keeping it country. Ain't a damn one know how to do the Dougie. No, I'm not in Kentucky, but these girls around here, yep, they still love me. Yeah, the girls around here, they all deserve a whistle. Shaking that sugar sweet as Dixie Crystal. They like that y'all and southern drawl and just can't help it 'cause they just keep falling for the boys around here. Drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco, spit.
Let's ride through the countryside. Let's ride down to the riverside.
Hey now, girl, hop inside. Me and you gonna take a little ride to the river. Let's ride. That's right. Lay a blanket on the ground. Kissing in the crickets is the only sound. We out of town. Have you ever got down with a do you wanna get down with a girl, you gotta get down with the boys around here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco. I'm one of them boys around here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco, spit.
Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, spit. Welcome to the WINGIT call, August 16th, 2016. So let's take it this way. Take a knee, please. Redneck witness time. Lord, protect us and guide us as we get closer to your blessing coming down. I definitely need your guidance in how to be a good steward, to prepare, to help the people that need to be prepared, and the ones that just flat out need help. That's what we're here for. Please watch out. Please watch over my brothers and sisters. Also give them guidance. And we ask all of this in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Now that that's done, disclaimer is the recording is on. The disclaimer is we're not attorneys, financial advisors, or CPAs. This is just our opinion. This is not to be taken as any legal advice. And for the rest of the disclaimer, please go to the wingitcall.com. There's a disclaimer tab, and click on it, and you'll have the rest of the disclaimer. Heck, we'll kick it off with Art. Art, go away. Or, I mean, not go away. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Shoot it back at you, back at you, back at you.
Oh, and
I like
star
that song.
star two to raise your hand if you want to ask a question.
Okay. Like that song, yeah. Good afternoon to everybody out there in Currency Land. Beautiful day here in my hometown. Hope it is in yours too. It's supposed to get a little bit cooler this coming week. A little hint of fall, they say, so we're all for that. All we want is a hint of the numbers. Last night, one of our sources said they were absolutely 1,000% assured they would be out last night. And here we are today. Now we're being assured that not quite 1,000%, but they will be here today or tomorrow, I think. As a news set rep report just came out, I'd suggest going to Dinar Chronicles if you want to read it. It's Joseph had a good one out yesterday about Abbott Downing, and this one's equally as good. Just telling you what's happening, and it's very imminent, and so I would suggest reading it. So that's all we know. There is no more really intel. I mean, it's all done. It's ready. It's just a matter of they're taking care of some loose ends, and according to what he says here, had to get rid of some other people that were, I suppose, trying to do their thing to prolong it, block it, whatever, and I think they've taken care of that, it kind of sounds like. So that's the best thing you can do is go read that SITREP report, and with that, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Art. Wingman's not here today. He's under the weather, so it's all on my shoulders today. This means we're all in big trouble. We are. There's not a lot of intel out there. We can talk about it till the cows come home, but it doesn't make any difference. What we need to do is prepare ourselves for what's coming. And so we're going to revisit a couple of things that we need to start preparing for at the exchange. I'm sure everybody heard Awaken 3D's call. That guy gave a explanation about the exchange procedures. Pretty good. Let me see. I've got my little crib sheet here, and I'll just go down my list here. One of the first things when you get in there that I'm concerned about is it's the FinCEN report. It's the FinCEN 112. And there's a box in there. I can't remember what line it is, 31, 32, something like that. It needs to be checked. Exchange, and you want to get a copy of that if possible. I know they only do it on the computer screen, but I bet they can print out a copy of that. Second, after when you're in your exchange, it's going to start off with they want to speak with you and see how you're doing, what type of person you are. What are you going to do? Do you just want to take your money and run and go be a playboy, playgirl, play something? They're going to put you in that category. Here you go. Here's your money. Have a nice life. Pass you on down the line. Go on to the next one. But if you don't fit in that category, you could fit in category 2, which would be you want to do things, you want to help fund some projects, but you don't necessarily want to be involved in the everyday process. Hey, that's great. That means maybe the rate that you get is going to be a little higher than what category 1 is, because now you want a partnership with the bank. Explain to them what you want to do, because the bank wants to be part of. That's how they make money. You got to spend money to make money. You just have to be knowledgeable about how you're spending it to get the most bang for your buck, and you're not being taken advantage of. That's the part about being a good steward. Plus, you want to grow it. That's what all this is about. So if you fall in a category that somebody has $50 or $100 million, well, that's generational wealth, and you want to be able to grow it. So they're asking you all these questions to figure out what category you fit in. And the third one is that you want to do humanitarian projects, but you want to be involved, not micromanaging, but you want to see the overview rather than just say, here it is, I'll see you once a year for a board meeting and go on about your business. The last third category is you want to be involved, and they're liable to give you a little bit different rate for that because now you're a really preferred customer that they want to do business with. It's all about partnering up and going forth. So those are the three categories. I rednecked it, try to break it down pretty easy. Let's see here. So back to my little cheat sheet here. My next question was, if I have to fund all of the projects out of my portion, I'd like a little bit more percentage. Let's see. Who did I get this from? Oh, hold on. Multitasking. Oh, and it's on Form 112. It's in Part 2 of the form, I think it's line item 25E is what I was just told. So, anyway. Oh, look. It's my buddy from Austin. He's going to help out today, too, since my wingman is under the weather. And, yeah, not just yet. So just keep yourself muted. So when you ask them if you have to fund all of your projects out of your portion, and if they say yes, well, you want a little bit more percentage. If they say no and explain to you that you can take out, or they're willing to give you a little bit more money other than what your 20 or 25% is, because they can see what's going on. The banker wants to be involved to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to. It's kind of like a loan to build a house. They're going to give you $1 billion. They want to see what you're doing and kind of be involved in the process. They don't want to just, here's the money. Next thing you know, they've lost all their money because you've lost all the money. They want to see just a little bit on that of what's going on. And also, when you're in there, as Aiko has said before, when you're talking about a rate, just be respectful and look at them and say, is this the best that you can offer or you have to offer for what I'm bringing to the table? And these are just my crib sheets. I put them in my own words because I have the rest of it in my head. One of the other ones is cashier's checks. We've all heard when you go in there. So think about what you're going to be asking for. Write them down in advance, because some of the cashier's checks that I'm asking for are going to be pretty sizable. I need to pay off. I need to pay off my trust. I need to pay off my financial advisor that I'm hiring. If I want a private jet through my trust, I'm going to need a check for the jet company. Just go ahead and pay for so much up front, so many jet hours. Get that out of the way. That way you can travel, pick up the phone, say, hey, I need to go. Now, and they'll meet you there. Austin, you can unmute. You've been listening a little bit. Can you throw in your 2 cents there?
Yes, most of this is going to be common sense, because when you go in and start speaking with the bankers, they are definitely going to be respectful of you because they know what you are bringing to the table. and you're just going to want to be respectful back. But go prepared and go with your notes. There's nothing wrong with taking some notes and crib sheets with you. Trying to remember it all is going to be much difficult. I think, Jerry, you and I as well, sometimes you want to say something and you forget it. And so taking some crib sheets with you I think is going to be a wise move, even for somebody like Iko. But just being respectful. Most of you have probably made notes from all of these calls. You want to review them. You want to condense those down to what you really feel like you need, and just take those with you, Jerry. It's just going to be a common sense thing, but realize that what you have is what they want, and just don't be afraid to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get it. That's my sense. Go ahead, Jerry.
That was it. I thought you could go a little longer. I mean, you're my new wingman for the day.
Oh my gosh! Well, thanks for not giving me that.
No. It's okay.
No, but really, just conversations that we've had in the back room. This is just exciting times. The best thing I can say is just don't get down on yourself. It doesn't happen in the time we want. Just as I've told you, Jerry, just feel good that you're on this side of the equation, that you actually have something that a lot of people don't have, and a lot of people have probably ridiculed you for having. So when this happens, you're not going to go back and tell them I told you so. In many respects, you're just kind of going to sort of disappear and say, gosh, I don't know what to tell you. But these are exciting times. I'm excited. Get to asking a question, brother, that we can answer.
Well, I think I made a fox pal, but I know. Please don't go there. Don't go there.
It's a fox pass.
Fox pass, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So just present what you're looking for.
Yes.
And just be respectful. Be calm. And have a designated driver for afterwards for your blue moon. In your case, it depends. And let's see here. Let us go. If you'll mute yourself out there because you're kind of noisy. Oh, call notes. Here we go. Not call notes. Notes for the call. My call. And for the people in Louisiana, please, what's the word I'm looking for? Find high ground. My sympathy goes out to you. That's a lot of water. A little water's okay. A lot of water, that's not a good thing. And you've got a lot of water down there, and you've got more coming. I pray for you that you can find high ground, and I've been watching the news, and people have been helping other people out like we're supposed to help out our brothers and sisters to get to high ground, protect what you can. Some people have lost everything, kind of like out in California in the fires out there, just totally wiping out whole towns, subdivisions. It's not a pretty thing on either side, down there or the West Coast, even the East Coast. So our prayers go out for them. Question 1, Jerry and team, thank you for all you do and put up with. Since asking for a date or a reason why this hasn't gone already won't speed up the process, my question is for post-exchange. How long would you wait to buy a house or a vehicle to avoid looking like what you've been referred to as crackheads That's toothless crackheads with money. I personally want to partner with the banks and remain in good standings so that both the bank and I can do business together with the common goal to make money for both parties. How slow must one be not to tarnish their reputation with the bank? And thank you for your wisdom and knowledge and everything you can do to help us. Well, I'm in deep trouble there. That goes to all the intel providers and gurus who have invested time. Well, thank you for that. I'm not sure. I'm going to be looking to buy property in a house pretty quick because I want away from where I'm at, where nobody knows me. So if I am doing something, it's going to look like, they're doing pretty well for themselves. Not that Billy Bob all of a sudden went from 2 trucks up on blocks in his front yard to a Mercedes-Benz sitting in a driveway. If you can, move to a different area. Little Mary Sunshine?
You know, you got to think that if you just moved across town, you moved from the suburbs to a higher end area, like say for instance you moved out on the lake, people aren't going to know you out there, and they're going to have no clue what's going on with you. So it's going to be like a total paradigm shift for those people that are around you. You just moved in, you have a Mercedes. Everybody's got a Mercedes. You got a big house. Everybody's got a big house. So just moving across town can be very easy about not so much being in hiding, but just you're off the radar. You're just off the radar. You may want to keep a reasonable car if you're still going to the same church, so everybody doesn't go, "Wow, what just happened?" Or have a really good reason. I know that I told you, Jerry. I'm just telling people that I got a job with a trust, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But the rest of it is just common sense and just not rubbing your existing neighbors, rubbing it in their faces where they can talk about it. What do you think?
Head down, below the radar.
Yeah, that's good too.
Lip zipped. Or if you are going to speak, learn the art of BS, where you talk about a whole lot of stuff, but you say nothing. Now think about that one. You can talk all day long, and people are going, "Well, what exactly did he say?" Nothing really. And there's a fine art to that. And the people in the oil business, they're good at that. So watch out for those vipers. All right, question 2. I've been doing some thinking about what seems to be as outrageous rates given out over the past by some. It dawned on me last night that while we may be outrageous by fiat standards, what would it be by asset standards? For example, does any one of us know what the total value based on assets of Zimbabwe truly is? Including the stuff still in the ground, not yet processed, but assets of the country nonetheless. Well, it seems that Zimbabwe and the whole country of Africa are all tied together, but Zimbabwe seems to be sitting on all, well, I won't say all, but a hefty portion of the next precious mineral that we need for technology. So there really isn't a way to put a value on that just yet. I'm sure they have, but we are not privileged to it. Let's see, and there's the second half of the question. Maybe it is that since we have always based the value of money according to what is in circulation worldwide, could it be that the reason the rates seem wild is because we are not thinking about the enormous wealth of the whole world? What say you, Jerry and Iko? Maybe there is some merit to it if we changed our mindset of reasoning, coming away from fiat to an asset-backed world wealth. Well, I think I answered it and then read the second half, and I'm reading these questions cold that are sent to me, so maybe I should have pre-read them first. But anyway, let's see. Oh, this is good. This is very good. We have a guest coming on. And there is our guest. Hello, Wingman.
Hello, Jerry. Hello, crowd. Hello, folks.
Well, I had Little Mary Sunshine standing in for you temporarily.
Okay. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, we RV'd, didn't you hear?
No. I missed it. Nobody sent me the 800. All these people have promised me the 800 number, and there's no 800 number in my phone here. So
that I guess April Fools.
Yes, I guess so. Or August Fools.
There you go, August Fools. Little Mary, if you'll just mute yourself, that way I don't have to mute you on this end, and Wingman is in the house.
So,
let's see, question. Remember we had our conversation earlier, we were going to talk about what to do when we got to the bank and our little checklist?
Yes. I guess we can
share
that with everybody.
Well, no, you weren't here, so I started without you. Talked about the FinCEN. I talked about the FinCEN. I talked about funding projects in the portion and what to do if you had to fund it all and whatnot. Your favorite reply, is this the best you can offer?
Yep.
And then we talked about cashier's checks when you get in there, to have your list ready, because some of mine, one of my checks is for cashier's check is for $400,000. So be prepared if they're going to say, well, what's this for? It's going to this company right here. They might want to put a name on it, but just say, look, don't put a name on it yet because I need to know who to make it to. But I still need it. But just show them what's going on. And I'm sure they'll have computers there, and I'm going to try to have numbers. When this goes down, I'm going to be calling people saying, hey, I'm going to be calling you because I'm bringing you a check. Who do I make it out to? Things like that. Paying my car off, property taxes, the whole bit. So, and when you go in and they say, would you like a credit card? Sure. Now, I want you something to think about. You can go to American Express and read the difference between the black card and the platinum card. Not that much difference. Ask for the platinum card.
Yeah, so you don't advertise your wealth.
That's right.
The black card's to show off. There's no reason to show off.
And if Wells Fargo wants to give you one of their Visa cards, which I'm thinking probably not, but they might, just say, look, if I want to use this, I need a limit. Tell them they need to raise the limit up, $4 or $5, $500,000. Or if they're issuing, go ahead.
I've had some experience with that. Actually, what you want to do is you want to keep the limit relatively low, just in case somebody steals the identity on that card. And it can happen. Believe me, it's happened to me. And what you do is, if you know you're going to have a big expense coming up, like let's say I'm going to the boat show and I'm going to buy a bunch of equipment that day, you call up your banker and you say, get in touch with their credit card department and tell them that, to expect a lot of big charges on this card for today only. And they have no problem doing that, and it works like a charm. The next day you're back to whatever your $3,000-$4,000 limit, whatever you say. And you won't get hurt.
Also, if you're going to have a relationship with your banker, and this is life too, the first banker may not, you and them may not gel, but be cordial and say, yeah, you may not click. But
Yep.
my thing is, if you're going to be my personal banker, I need access to you 24/7 with phone numbers,
Right.
so we can communicate.
I don't think
Big
that's
thing.
going to be an issue at most of the folks on this call are going to be in $1 million plus bracket, and I mean, I know when I went in to Wells, a few years ago, I didn't have a lot of money to put in. I just gotten done with closing down my business and all that, but I got his cell phone number, and we've had email exchanges at 11:30 at night. So it's I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue, especially at our level. They're gonna, it's a service business. That's what those wealth advisors are. They're not here to they're not here to hurt us. They're here to help us as best they can.
And one thing, and as we speak, I'm going to be writing this down because I've got so much printed out and stuck everywhere. But one of the other questions you can ask them is, okay, what kind of perks can you offer me?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, like we're talking about me flying out to Dallas for that meeting. With what I'm bringing in, it's like, the Wells Fargo plane better be at Teterboro at 4:00 that afternoon, and it'll probably be chock full of other denarians, but that's okay, I don't mind flying in company.
Exactly.
Yeah, there are a lot of perks. There are a lot of perks. There seems like, even though I don't follow football, I want to go to a Super Bowl just for the experience. I mean, the energy level's incredible. It's like going. I went to a World Series once, and it was like just being there was a real trip. Forget about the game itself. You get in that kind of crowd with that kind of energy, and it's intoxicating. It's a great ride all by itself. So, yeah, perks. Don't forget to ask for perks. So, I do have a couple of things I want to say about being in the meeting, if it's okay. I'm not going to give away any specifics, but just general things. You want to do that, or you want to take calls?
No, go ahead, because
Okay.
I can read this.
Yeah.
No,
We got some. Yeah.
This is the text was, the tribe wants to know if you'll share your cheat sheet. Of course I will. Only after. Sure. Only after it's been typed out, because you can't read my chicken scratching, and I mean that.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, we got some more information this week from a guy who actually went through the training for Wells Fargo Exchange.
Hold on just a second. Hold on.
Yep.
Before you.
I'm not going to go too far with it.
Okay, because I went and I said I've already explained about the three categories. If you want to just be a playboy, get in, get your money, get out. Then I gave the next category, and then I gave the last one. But you always have a better explanation than I do.
Well, I was gonna just give a little coaching about meeting etiquette, and also one of the things, guys, that they're going to be looking for is they want to feel comfortable. And again, this is their fiduciary responsibility. This is a legal requirement. They need to feel comfortable, especially if they're giving you something over the international rate, that you have the well, that'll teach me to blab on the phone. I just missed my exit. That you have the wherewithal to manage this kind of money. And it's okay to be a beginner. You don't want to go in and be something you're not. That's not a good idea. But you do want to demonstrate to them that you can make decisions, you can listen, you can take in information, all those things, all those qualities that I mean, somebody like me, I had to learn all that stuff over years of making big mistakes in negotiation in my business. But slowly but surely, I did learn, and it's going to be the same thing with these bankers. They want to know that you can handle your wealth, and that's going to influence what they offer you. It's especially when you get into this second and third level. And I can tell you from experience, you don't want to pretend you're something you're not, because they'll trip you up, and then you're going to look twice as bad. But you can be completely honest, which they'll appreciate. You could say, I need to think about that. And from what we're understanding is, if you need to take a break from the meeting because you're feeling a little overwhelmed and not quite on board with everything that's happening, you can take a break. You can go out into the reception area, hang out for 10 minutes. What they'll do is they'll start processing another person. And then when they're done with that person, you can go back in and pick up where you left off. It's not this hard sell scenario that we've been led to believe. And also, I don't know if you mentioned this, Jerry, but the whole idea of having to get in there within 2 days, or we're going to lose the rates, that seems to not be the case. You're gonna call or email or whatever, communicate somehow, make your appointment, and you might not have an appointment if you're in a highly populated area. You might wait a week for your appointment. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying you might, but it's okay. Don't panic. The rates are going to be there. You're in the system once you make that call. So I guess I just wanted to reinforce that the idea that they are there to help, they are going to be as friendly as they can possibly be. They want you to stay at the bank and do business with them down the road. So, I guess that's enough said for now. I'm not sure what ground you covered, but it sounds like you did all the basics of the information we got.
I have to wait for you to stop talking. I got reprimanded for interrupting you.
Oh, I see. Okay. Feel free to interrupt.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. So,
Question 3. We know this isn't all about Iraq, but it has been said that they are the linchpin. Or are we waiting for the whole world to get coordinated, or are we done just waiting on the 800s? What are your thoughts? Well, we've heard rumblings that Iran is going to start floating their currency, which that'll really pop a poo donut in the punch bowl, won't it?
it sure will.
But
I don't think they're not going to do that. I don't know. The more I get into this and the more I understand, the less I heed those if-then statements. Like the Chinese are pissed, therefore it's going to happen, or the Iranians are going to go it on their own, and therefore it's going to happen. The Iranians aren't going to go it on their own. They're totally dependent on the region. There's got to be cooperation in the region. That's one of the mainstays of the GCR. The whole idea is for the Arab states to be cooperating, and not price fixing and not manipulating. So, when I hear things like that, so far there's been no evidence. In fact, hasn't even been evidence that, quote unquote, the U.S. is holding it up. That just may be paranoid thinking too. It may just be that it winds down and it winds down and it winds down. This morning I heard a rumor. Oh, it's not going to be till January because they want the market to crash before they do the GCR. That's not the case. That does not make good business. But as soon as we get into our fear, as soon as the thing doesn't happen when everybody said it was going to happen, we start looking for excuses, and maybe the excuse is it's just not quite ready. For noble reasons, because this thing's full of human error, human mistakes. You got 208 countries trying to pull together on the biggest agreement in the history of the civilized world. That's probably what's happened. Not all the paranoid nonsense. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, have you heard about Deutsche Bank?
Oh yeah. And
go ahead, and I got something to say about that, but you're first.
Okay. All I'm saying is it's a perfect example. We knew from our contacts that Deutsche Bank was in trouble, that it was going to be any moment they were going to cry uncle, that we heard about them trying to do back deals with other banks to buy off divisions, to buy off certain portfolios. None of that has worked because everybody's like, ew, Deutsche Bank's in the room, run away. So finally it's becoming public. And look how it's becoming public. Slow. Let's not panic the entire continent of Europe because Deutsche Bank is having issues. Okay, I'm done.
Well, and where are most of the derivatives housed at?
Deutsche Bank. Yes. And I guess everybody knows by now why, because they pulled some fast ones with Marshall Plan laws that were on the books and actually masked even more derivative debt, more than whatever it is, 160 trillion that we know about, or that's essentially public information. There's even more behind that they've hidden out. By the way, did you see or hear anything about the automobile, the used car bubble, credit bubble?
I have not.
Well, they found another avenue. And I'll tell you, I just bought a car from one of those companies that specializes in like 2-year cars, right? 2-year-old cars. Great deal. Why buy brand new when you can literally get a vehicle with 15,000 miles on it? That's a couple of years old. The thing's cherry. It even smells new. But I was talking to the guy about credit ratings and whatnot. And he said, well, right now, if you can fog a mirror, you can get a car loan. If you can fog a mirror, put a down payment on, you can get a car loan. And I didn't press him for more on that, but it appears that same thing with the easy credit in housing. They've done it with the used car because there's so many cars out there. And what happens is these big financial firms go into a used car organization, and basically they form a cooperative, and they say, just get them in, just move the vehicle. We don't care if that $200 a month payment is gonna crush them. We'll go after them, and we'll still make money. On the repos and all that. It's a dirty thing, and they figured out, that's all they did. They just shifted the focus. Not as lucrative as the housing market, where you're doing a $300,000 or $400,000 loan at any given time, but a lot of those $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 loan on a 2-year-old car, 2-year-old Japanese car, you plop down $3,000, they'll give you the other 10. Those things add up.
Yeah, and they're going on volume now instead of
exactly. Yes.
Instead of just doing the one big deal or a couple of deals a month, they're doing high volume, many repos a month, which is even better.
Yep. Yep.
Also, what was I going to say? Now that Deutsche Bank, they're going to start breaking it up. Oh, the derivatives. Now that they're housed in one bank, if they take that bank down and collapse this is just my opinion, and I could be way off the mark here, but we've always heard that they would need to get rid of the derivatives. Well, most of them are housed right there. Yes, they're tied to a lot of the banks in the top 4 banks. We've heard that Wells Fargo has pretty well gotten rid of their derivatives. They might hold some, but it's just minuscule now compared to what they did have.
Right.
But once they break up the bank with all the derivatives, they can write it off. And when we go when China goes asset backed on October 1st, ta-da!
Yeah.
With the stroke of a pen, life is good again. It's amazing how that pen is mightier than the sword. Okay. And we said about Iraq. Yeah, it's not about Iraq. It's a great theater play. We're in the closing act. We're just waiting for them to either raise the curtain or drop the curtain, however you want to look at it. Okay, question 4. Post RV, can you, Jerry, Wingman, and Art give specific examples of how you will be diversifying your money? I already know that you have mentioned using more than one bank, maybe a state bank. I also know that you said to try to get it offshore. And when I said that, that's legally. No criminal activities at all. Otherwise, you will incur the wrath of things you've never heard of. Legally offshore. That's what your financial advisors are for.
You're doing that to protect your funds. You're not doing that to avoid taxes.
Correct.
That's why you're going offshore. And put some of your money into other foreign currencies that are either that appear to have a lot of growth potential, but make sure they're safe. First example of that is the Norwegian krona. Everybody was all hot on that, like buying yuan will buy the krona. But you know what? If the Eurozone gets in trouble, guess who's in trouble? Norway.
Yep.
So, you gotta seek professional advice on this. And you know what, guys? Here's something else too. We've got a leg up on understanding the currency markets and the future markets that your average financial guy may not understand yet. They'll get educated pretty quick, but we've got a leg up on that. So what you want to do is it's like running a business. You got your IT guy. You don't know what's going on in that server room, so you hire a good IT guy. But and then you take his information and you make executive decisions based on that information. Same thing with your sales team. Same thing with your manufacturing team. You want to surround yourself with good information. And then you want to apply the filter that we've been learning about over the past few years to your decisions. And if you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. What you want to do is you want to find somebody who is comfortable with doing for that, and that you like, that you have a connection with. And I mean, you hear it all the time. You see it in the movies all the time. This is the family attorney. He's been taking care of the family for the last 35 years, or something like that. Well, there are people like that out there, and they're not cheap, but we will have the funds to, look at folks like that and to attract them. And it is at that level, it's a personal relationship. I go sailing with the guy that started my financial management. I play golf with the guy that handles all my insurance. And even though I don't like golf that much, I love hanging out with this guy. So so you hang out for an afternoon in the sun, swinging a club and hoping you don't lose your ball. That's my level of golf. But it's the fact that I can hang out with John. I learn things from him. We can talk about politics. We can talk about all kinds of things. And this is what happens. You learn to have personal relationships with your advisors, and it takes some time. But that's something we all need to look at. Okay.
Let us, California, Ubidi. I'm probably, Ubidi on the web. Come on down.
It's actually pronounced Ubiety, but thank you. I appreciate letting me on.
Well, that's the Texas side. If you'll take me off the speaker, you sound echoey in the room, please.
Oh, I apologize. It's just the way I'm listening to it here. I hope that helps.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks. I noticed on the chat, a scrolling chat, reference to a bank individual been training, and they had requested that if it were possible for ICO Wingman to do any elaboration on that. So that was an A point. And a B point, I'm not sure, it feels more fundamental. My brief thought is I don't want to embrace a fourth quarter window, as was mentioned.
Sorry, we lost you there. You're kind of, there you go. There you go.
Anyway, bottom line is I don't want to embrace a fourth quarter window, but what is the reasoning that helps us be confident that a fourth quarter window is not as valid as RV immediately?
You're kind of breaking up there, but did you catch that, Wingman?
Let me take a stab at that. So I'm gonna assume that we RV before the fourth quarter. That's based on everything that I'm hearing, and also everything I'm seeing, how the mainstream is starting to focus on this, how the articles are starting to hint at it. The other thing too is, if you remember, we've been coached. I know Jerry and I have been coached by people that what we really want to do is we want to focus on parking our money initially, not making it work for ourselves so much. It's just parking it in safe haven and seeing what develops. And that's going to be more than a fourth quarter. That I wouldn't. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not going to be doing any kind of investment other than going after, plain vanilla savings and CDs and things like that at fixed interest rates. I'm not going to be doing anything in a market sense, probably for an entire year, because I really want to know what I'm getting into. And I want the U.S. economy to give a solid indication as to where it's going before I start playing the market, before I do, any platform trades, before I purchase foreign bonds and things like that. I really want to see what the GCR is starting to yield. If you remember, one of the great quotes that's going around right now is we don't know the rules to the game yet because they don't know what the game is. So let's find out what the game is. I hope I'm answering your question. I don't think you have to worry about the fourth quarter this year. If anything, sit it out. Just let the money sit there in a trust. Let it sit there in a non-interest bearing account so you don't trigger any tax issues. And watch and learn.
Well, Iko, I absolutely track with you on the the importance after RV of delaying a heavy-handed jump into the market, whether for investment or any project. Honestly, we have to settle into what we're doing, what we're living, a new paradigm before we can get anywhere. Really, it was really more a question focused on the reasoning of any RV waiting for the fourth quarter, as distinguished from immediately.
Well, tell me if you agree with this statement that whenever we get on the other side of midway to a new quarter, the theories start popping up that we got to wait till the next quarter, that it can't happen till the next quarter for whatever reason you want to throw out there. I think based on everything I'm hearing, I would put all of those predictions in the. I'm just not going to let myself get set up for a fall here, so I'm going to start looking at the fourth quarter. Does that resonate for you? Does that make sense to you, or are you talking about?
Well, no, I get it. I don't mean honestly, and I apologize if it seems like I'm trying to. I'm not trying to put you in a box. I'm trying to grasp. I'm the reasoner and the thinker. I want to get it, and I'm trying to grasp the reasoning behind an understanding or a sense of an immediate RV as distinguished from whatever reasoning, and I'm not sure I grasp it fully, of those who say, no, it's going to be fourth quarter, no sooner, window from October 1 to January 1, that's the new window. I don't know their reasoning necessarily, but if you do and can distinguish it from the reasoning that suggests now, that is what I was asking. And I'm not going to press you if you feel like you've handled it. Then I won't push. But
I ascribe, I guess is the right word, to the crisis, the market crisis, triggering the GCR, and the markets are absolutely in crisis. I mean, I just had a conversation. I had a doctor's. That's why I was late. I had a doctor's appointment, right? I was talking to my doctor, and he doesn't know I'm in this, but he knows I'm in finance. And he said, how is the market doing so well when everything else is falling apart? This is. I mean, granted, he's an intelligent guy, but he's a doctor. He hasn't got any time to himself. He's not sitting around watching Bloomberg like we are, But that's what he's hearing. He's hearing that everything's a shambles, and yet here's the U.S. market going up and up and up, and everybody's happy. So I think the forcing function is going to be the collapse of one of these major institutions. I'm hoping it's Deutsche Bank. I'm hoping Deutsche Bank creates a domino effect or a ripple effect that really just forces these guys into the final back wall. Puts their backs up against the wall. I don't want to call it a back wall. That's an overused term. I mean, it sounds real logical to say, well, let's wait till October because we're going to see what happens when the Chinese go at that. That's an attractive, anchor to hang or hook to hang your hat on. But
no, I get that. That's appropriate reasoning.
I don't think we've got time. Yeah, I don't think we can wait. Take it back. We can wait, but I don't think the world can wait. I'm pretty darn sure that Europe is secretly completely in chaos now. If we're getting these ripples in the mainstream media about Deutsche Bank being in trouble, and Merkel coming out and making statements, and the whole thing with the Italian banks 2 weeks ago, being in trouble, and they were denying it vehemently. The minister of banking, no, everything is fine, everything is wonderful. I think that's gonna cave in before we've got let's say.
Okay, so in a nutshell, we might say we're not really allowed a sufficiently accurate picture to know the depth of desperation in which world financial markets have developed at this point. And because of the pressure resulting from that, we are now looking more realistically, you would reason, for something here more proximate to our current date as distinguished from here in the future as predicted by others. Something like that.
Yes, and I'm going to have you edit the white paper I'm writing on this subject. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, because that was a great politician's answer. All right, sir.
Well said.
Did that help you out?
I could never run for any form of elected office. Someone would shoot me, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
So,
Thank you,
so
sir.
the second one is quickly. Any thoughts relative to the training of the bank employee, as alluded to earlier? And gentlemen, Iko, I hope you are well and continue that way. Jerry, I thank you for allowing me on the call, and I will I'll mute out and continue on that.
Thank you.
It seems to me that they really have they've done a good job setting this up. My understanding is that Wells has created an entirely separate corporation, not a division. It's a separate corporation to do the exchanges, which of course insulates their other divisions.
So what's on their call? So what's on their call is absolutely right. Wells Fargo will never ever exchange or have anything to do with the dinar. That is totally correct. They didn't lie to us.
True.
We just didn't think outside the box. Let's go to our next caller, which is Anonymous, and I have no idea where Anonymous is. Hell, it could be one of my bestest buddies. Who knows? Anonymous, you have your hand raised.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Go ahead.
I missed that remark y'all made about the dinar and Wells Fargo. What was that you said again?
Wells Fargo, the company line is, we will never deal with the dinar, never have, never will. We're not going to exchange it. We're going to have nothing to do with it, which is a correct statement because they have a total separate division, corporation to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're telling the truth, but they're not telling the truth. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just another division. Good. I understand that. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So where are you, sir? Where are you located? Since you're anonymous, I normally don't take anonymous callers.
North Carolina.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's all I had.
Come on.
My question's already been answered, but I just heard that, and I just want to get that clear.
Got it.
10-4.
Thank you, sir. Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Come on down. Mount Pleasant, 843. Come on down. Hello. Hello, Mount Pleasant. I don't want to say I'll say your first name. Jerry. Hello, Jerry. Come on down. Goodbye. North Bend, Washington, 425. Hello.
Hello.
Come on
It's
down.
absolutely gorgeous here, and I hope it's gorgeous where you are. I have a question. That I was looking at some of my notes from calls, past calls. I wanted to clarify, you had said something about putting our money into a state bank or a republic bank?
No, a state bank. The one I'm looking at, they gave up their federal charter and they went back to a state bank charter, and I feel that they're in a little bit better shape to. All banks are still tied in with the government. They have government regulations, but I like the idea that mine is only using a state charter. And you can also put your money in a credit union, but right now, I think I've heard the limits for any single depositor is like $10 million. So things to think about.
Okay. Thank you. I struggle with the conversation about moving our money offshore legally. Will the bank, for example, Wells Fargo, if we exchange there, which I'm going to, will they not be extraordinarily unhappy because you're going to move your money offshore? I mean, obviously you don't tell them before the fact, but after you've got the money in your bank account, then you just kind of quietly move in with your attorney and move it offshore?
Well, now I believe we've heard rumors that the Chinese own a great portion of Wells Fargo, like HSBC. It's still going to be within their banking system. It's just going to be offshore, and that's a legal way to protect it against economic times that might take a downturn here. How's that for a politician statement?
Okay. Thank you very much, Jerry.
Well, Wells Fargo is tied in with foreign banks, and I think they'll be happy with that.
And so you can expect to freely talk to them about wanting to move the money offshore.
I believe so.
Okay. All right then. Well, thank you very much. Have a blessed afternoon.
Got
So,
it. We'll wrap it up here quick.
Besides opening this door, you're going to bring the green chair out here so I can muscle my way up into the green chair, and then we'll use it.
Oh, you don't want that walker?
No, this worked just as well.
Well, we'll bring it in.
All righty. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Here we go. Las Vegas, Lost Wages, Nevada. 7-0. Come on down.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
How you doing, guys?
Fine. How are you doing?
Great. Quick question. When this all goes through, it's obvious I want to buy a house. Would the best way, because I don't have enough money to get the trust fund started till I get the money, would it be best to buy a house and pay for it cash, or put payments on it, then put it into the trust? What would be the best way?
You can convey it into the trust after you buy it.
A little further back. Yeah.
Yep. That's the best way. I mean, if you don't have a trust now, once it's set up, convey it into the trust, and you'll be all right.
No, it's boring.
Should it be cash or make payments on it?
Yeah, make payments on it. Then when it gets into the trust, let the trust pay it off.
There you go. Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys, and hope we're there.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Rick, I got something to add to that.
Okay.
Just real quick. Right now, the interest rates on a home mortgage are 3%. If you can make 9 or 10% on your money, you don't want to spend that capital. You want to keep that capital in the loop working for you, and you'll net 7, 8% on your money. So by all means, take out a mortgage. You always got to look at these big expenses that way. You know, what's the smarter thing to do? And again, don't think you got to be a multimillionaire to have a trust either. That's not the case. Trust can work for people with much less funds than that. But you're going to need to hire the expertise to put it together for you. That's the thing. So you got to look at those costs. You got to balance all that stuff out.
All righty. Last call. Twin Cities, Minnesota. Come on down.
Good morning, good afternoon. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, just bebopping down the road, trying to get some work done since I'm not rich yet. But anyway, my question is this. I've been reading all these couple other sites and gurus saying that, when this happens, that the U.S. and stuff might take a hit on the economy for a couple months, and they're advising everybody get cash or get some other currencies, or like the one lady suggested, go offshore. Would that be the best bet to do, is go offshore or get other cash to hedge against all this?
Wingman?
Well, I would say not quite in that fashion, but you do want to protect against what it looks like there's going to be some hyperinflation. It looks like it's going to be a lot more in a couple of months. So hold on a second, guys.
Anyway, to help Iko out here,
Yeah, sorry, I had to cop out there for a minute.
Anyway, let your financial advisors, good ones, advise you on what to do. Make a decision after you're fully informed, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the same old thing.
For me.
You hear stuff on these calls, including our call, and you see things in the chat room. You know, if it resonates for you, that's great. You know, but you don't want to make any plans based solely on what you're hearing in DNR land, because it's going through all kinds of filters. What you want to do is ask a professional these questions and get their input. So, you know, that goes for me, that goes for Rick, that goes for anybody on these calls. None of these guys are financial professionals. None of them. None of them are tax attorneys. None of them are accountants. Well, a couple of accountants out there. But really, just be careful about basing a plan on something you heard in a chat room.
All righty. Well, that is it for the day. Thank you for allowing me to broadcast, and you get to listen to my beautiful voice. Ha, 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 ha. Anyway, Lord, thank you for all you provided, the seen, the unseen, and just the guidance you do and the protection that you provide us. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. So, Iko, what is the last? Oop, he's already gone. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
The conference is now completed. Goodbye.